Hi. We're back again.
Hi, everyone. It's Isil and Jen from New York and San Francisco. As we mentioned last time, this is our great monthly chit chat we're going to do about our markets and what we're seeing on the ground. And motivated because we both have a lot of, we see a lot of movement between these two cities and we're best of friends. So we thought, why not bring you all into our conversation? So, Jen, what are you seeing out there?
Welcome. Well, first, can I please start this by saying I'm slightly depressed this morning because we had my contractor come over to the house, and what I thought would have been a simple peeking of our ceilings in the living room has turned into a giant project that would require, reframing of the roof. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when contractors come and buyers think, oh, we can just do a little work on the house and it won't be too much. It always ends up being more, and it can be just so wild. I'm sure you've experienced this
Oh,
before.
definitely. And sometimes it's sort of the opposite. What you think is going to be, a really big deal can end up being small. So it's really so great to like bring in sometimes not just one contractor, but a few we find and like
That's
get a few
right.
different opinions because there's sometimes more than one way to skin a cat in these as well.
Yeah. Great.
Terrible saying,
Great
but
choice of
yeah.
words, but okay.
Um,
Okay, but beyond contractor woes, you know, truly the name of the game here right now is inventory, and something I'd love to get your opinion on and hear you out is, our analyst for Compass just sent out these some amazing charts that talk about how the plunge in the supply of homes has been the single greatest factor in market dynamics since the Great Recession. And there are a few major reasons that really stood out to me that he shared that I found so fascinating. Um, One, over half of homeowners are age 55 and older. And that is like, as people age, they move less often, right? You're not seeing people move every 5 years at 60 years old. And so the duration of home ownership, how long you're in your home, has actually more than doubled since 2005. Like,
What's interesting, Jen, is usually you think of sort of the post 55 group as being kind of the prime downsizing sector. And so why do you think they're not downsizing as much? And I've had some conversations here in New York with, folks who have a big giant apartment or a big giant townhouse and they can downsize at this point. Their kids are out, but when you look at the economics, it doesn't necessarily make sense for them to downsize because they can get something that truly is sort of a downgrade and their monthlies are not that different and the amount of
that's
money
right.
they would net from the transaction is not that much, so it's sort of not enough to motivate them out of their like magical home they've raised their
Yes.
kids in. Is that similar to what you guys are seeing?
Yes, there's not enough benefits to doing it, right? And especially where property taxes are so high here in
and,
California.
and with you
And
guys, the property taxes reset when you buy and sell, right? That's the big
right.
kicker for you guys.
Right.
We don't have that.
Now, we did just pass a proposition, something, I can't think of it right now, where if you are age 65 and older, you can actually, within specific places in the Bay Area, you can take your property tax basis and move it to your new home, even if you've spent a lot more than what you had originally spent on your home.
Oh,
So
interesting.
this is actually allowing people to do this. But now you've got the interest rates,
Yeah.
right, that they're going to have to deal with. So why would they make their monthlies higher when at that stage of life what you're trying to do is decrease your cost of living?
Well, I think the idea used to be you're going to sell your place, you're going to have all of this extra cash. You can sort of buy something smaller, all cash, and sort of just carry it that way. But I think with home prices having increased so much, the amount of sort of cushion you have is often not enough for these people to make the all cash purchase of
Yeah.
something smaller that's still at the level that they're accustomed to living, right? Because they're not looking to like
Absolutely.
downsize their life, just get a smaller house that's still at a
Right.
certain level.
Right.
And
Another
the
thing
interest
is,
rate issue is like that's obviously impacting things across the board in
right.
terms of buyer ages, right? You know, we have all of our buyers who we've worked with in the last 10 years, they're sitting on, 2.5 to three and a
Right.
half percent interest rates.
And they should.
And to go that to like six and
Yeah,
a half, 7%, or 6%, or 5.5 even makes a dramatic difference. So they're like, why? Why move
totally.
now?
Totally. Some positive news just to interject. You know, we thought interest rates were going to drop in March. You know, that's off the table now. Nobody feels Powell doesn't feel a rush said there's no rush to drop these rates because, we're still on shaky ground with inflation. But we do now we're pretty positive June is going to see the first rate cut, and traders are already pricing this in for mortgages. So that's why you are seeing mortgages drop a little bit for our
Or those
buyers that are getting into.
February highs.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they really popped back up in
That's
February. Yeah.
right. That's right.
Anything
Um,
could change. There's the jobs report coming out.
that's right.
There's the Fed meeting. I think it's on the 20th of the month.
Yep.
And so who knows what's going to happen
That's right.
there. I feel like everyone just hangs on Powell's
Yeah.
every word at the,
I know it.
after these things and trying to read into it. It's like going on that first date and trying to figure out what the other person thinks.
Yeah. And now, while this is affecting quite a bit of the market, I'm also finding that the stock market is doing really well. And so people are feeling flush with cash. So I have a lot of the segment of the market who, yes, the rates are high, but they're still rocking and rolling. They're still ready to go. They do feel flush with cash. They are buying. And they're buying competitively.
I would say one thing is the stock market is doing well, but we've found that in a lot of compensation packages, the cash portion is now smaller than the
That's
equity
right.
portion. So
That's right.
people are also getting, though, less cash in terms of comp, particularly this year, which I think has sort of affected things a little bit negatively for us. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're getting a lot of equity and it's performing well, but no one wants to cash that out as soon as they get it.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you
so I
think that's
think
industry
I
specific?
I mean, it's hard to say. As you know, I work with a lot of people in like tech and finance,
That's right.
so it's just sort of what we're seeing.
Yeah.
But
So, okay, I'll bring it back again. The second part of, the supply situation is the US population has increased by 53 million since the year 2000. And over the same period of time, the number of active home listings declined by 45%. So this inventory sitch has been going on far before the pandemic happened, and far before interest rates skyrocketed. So this is just a trend that we're seeing, and I'm not sure what this is going to look like in 5, 10 years.
yeah,
So
I think you sort of hit it on the head. It's like we can say interest rates, we can say some of these other single factors, but there's so many different things at play here. It's, the amount of construction and building that's happened. It's places changing zoning. It's,
yeah,
these corporations buying up single family homes and making them into more rental.
yeah,
There's just so much at play here.
yeah,
Increased insurance rates across the board that we discussed last time. So it's really,
yeah.
as you said, it's hard to know when there's going to be sort of a release on this like inventory, if it is
Yeah.
even going to be soon.
There's always something. And guess what? It's always still a good time to buy real estate. And you're always going to be building equity in your home. And as long as you are not forced to sell at a certain period of time, this has been a tool for investment and accelerated an income and assets, right? So it's not a bad idea. You're going to be in some climate at some point in time. So
Absolutely.
it's nothing new. It won't be the first. It's not the first time. It won't be the last time. And I'm still seeing people do great with their investments. And you got to live somewhere. And you're either building equity for your landlord or yourself.
Sure. And listen, the math is different for everyone and what their personal circumstances are, what their long-term plans are. But, again, it's always something that's important to consider and like look at it from all aspects and never assume, oh, it's not a smart idea for me. Oh, it's something that's beyond my
Yeah.
means. Um, One thing I wanted to tell you about our market, which I thought you, being a former New York agent, would find particularly interesting, is sort of what happened in February for us was, inventory was low, though we had a little bit of relief in Manhattan. And where there was a ton of contract activity was the Upper East Side, which we haven't seen in a while, despite inventory not increasing there at all. So every other neighborhood, there was a pretty good increase in inventory, and contracts sort of stayed about the same. And then the Upper East Side just popped.
How interesting. Why do
So,
we think that is?
I wish I knew. It's funny. We're actually planning to move up there, hopefully soon.
How
And I thought maybe
exciting.
I'm a trendsetter. Maybe that's why. That's the
Okay.
best I can come up with so
Yeah.
far. I'll let you know if I come up with anything better.
Okay. Great talking
You,
with you. I'll catch you
you
next time.
too. Bye, Jen. Until next time.
Bye.